How's it going, Pokemon fans? CJ here from JollyMonz YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you our first deck profile, and we'll be starting tomorrow, our first games with Burning Shadows decks. And honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to play. Nothing really stuck out to me yet. I mean, obviously people are talking Gardevoir to be the best deck in the set, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem interesting to me. What did seem interesting to me, like when did they start spoilers? Like 2 or 3 months ago? I don't even remember. But I remember when I first saw this card right here, Noivern GX, I wanted to use it so bad. And honestly, I kind of forgot it existed for a while because no one ever mentioned it. But now that I remember that it's in Burning Shadows, I want to play it now. Because these are two fantastic attacks. Well, I think they're fantastic. You got Distort for 1 dark and 1 colorless, are in this deck will most likely just be double dragon energy, since it counts as anything. 50 damage, plus your opponent can play item cards from their hand during their next turn. So if you played when Seismitoad was around, or really if you've just played against any item lock deck, Seismitoad EX, Trevenant, Plume even, just like a month or 2 ago, you know how bad it is to not be able to use your items. Now, unfortunately, unlike 2 of those other decks, you don't really get it on turn 1 that often. Like, you can't just straight up block your opponent before they even get to do anything. They'll always have at least 1 turn of items, so they can do a decent amount of that 1 turn. But like, if your opponent just has a slow start, or maybe they're just playing like a slow deck in general, then this Distort can really slow them down. There might not be a lot of items in the format now because Garbodor came in and slowed down the whole format, but this can slow someone down quite enough to where you can pick up on that. 50 damage isn't a lot, but when you're slowing down your opponent, I think it could come in handy, especially since we're playing other forms of disruption in the deck. And then the second attack, Sonic Volume, Dark Psychic Colorless, which is pretty much going to be for you Double Dragon and a Dark Energy. That is my phone. I apologize. I'm going to silence that real quick. Yeah, like I said, you'll pretty much be using Double Dragon and Dark Energy for this. If you're having to attach 2 Double Dragons, then no, I'm sorry. But 120 damage. Your opponent can't play special energies from their hand during the next turn. Now, I love Giratina EX. That is one of my favorite cards in this game. And this reminds me of that card. I mean, of course, it's not as good as Giratina, where you can stop their stadiums and their tools. But a lot of decks, well, I don't even know of a lot. I know there's the Passimian deck, Espeon Garb runs DCE. There's a decent amount of decks that pretty much rely on special energy. Either it's... Oh, my trade is complete. Either they're the only energy the deck plays, or it really sets them back a turn not being able to use their special energies. And 120 damage, that's decent. If you have a choice band on it, that's 150. So, like, the damage isn't fantastic on these attacks, but because of the disruptive abilities that they have, the attacks are pretty good. And then the GX attack, this attack does 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. It's not amazing. A lot of stuff, like even a lot of basics, have 60 HP. And I played this deck a little bit, and I almost would wish that it just did 60 damage. But then I kind of thought about it, and that might be a little bit too good. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But I haven't used the Boom Burst attack that often yet. The only bad thing about Noivern GX is, like I said, people are talking up Gardevoir to be the best deck coming out of Burning Shadows. And we are weak to Fairy. So I think Gardevoir says it does 30 for each energy on it. With a weakness, it's essentially doing 60 for each energy on it. but it's 4 energy or 3 energy in a choice band, and you're just gone, which honestly isn't that hard to do. DCE, they use the ability, you're done. So if we play the deck, which obviously I'm about to, just gotta hope we don't run into Gardevoir. There's 3 Noivern in the deck. We have, of course, the 4 Noibat. The other Pokemon in the deck, we have Tapu Lele, of course. This does help out because there is one Wally in the deck. Where is it at? Yeah, there's a Wally. So if we're going second, it is possible to, start Noibat, put down Lele, grab Wally, evolve into Noivern, and attach Double Dragon, and we're item locking our opponent on our first turn. Now, of course, they've already had a turn to play their items, but, the earlier we can start slowing them down, the better. Maybe they can't play all their items within that one turn. And then the attack is just, generally decent. You don't want to go for it all the time. In fact, there's no double colorless in the deck, so it's a little bit harder to get the attack ready to go, but it's there just in case. You probably won't ever use it, but, the Lele is just here for consistency. We're also playing 2 Eevee and then 1 Flareon Vaporeon. The two of the decks in the format that probably won't be phased by this deck as much is that come to mind immediately is Metagross and the fire one, Volcanion. That's it. They don't play special energy, so our second attack is just basically just 120 damage flat, and then they can potentially set up without even needing items. Metagross can use like Vulpix, the Alolan Vulpix, and then Volcanion has the Brooklet Hill, so they potentially don't even need items to get themselves set up. So the evolutions are in here just to hit them for weakness. With Vaporeon, you knock out Volcanion no matter what, because it's 120, 240. Turtonator with Fighting Fury Belt goes up to 230. So actually you still knock out the Turtonator. Against Metagross, you'll have to attach a Choice Band because without it you hit 240. Metagross has 250. With the Choice Band, you hit... Jeez, I don't even remember. It was 300. Yeah. So you one-shot it. And even if you're just attacking with your Distort, it does decent amount of damage with the weakness if you have Choice Band to either one of them. For the items, we're playing hammers. 4 Crushing Hammer, 1 Enhanced Hammer. Since we're preventing our opponent from playing special energies with the Sonic Volume, if we can knock off the energies that are already in play and then attack with them, like say they already have an energy or 2 in play, you knock those off with hammers, you attack, they can't attach anymore. I've played a couple games against like Passimian decks where by the time I was able to get the Sonic Volume ready, they already had 2 DCEs into play. But what I did was just E-Hammer the one on the bench, attack the active, knock it out, there's no DCE in play, they can't attack anymore, and I basically won. So this is just here for more disruption. If they can't play items and they don't have energy, then, that gives us a lot of time to put in damage. Field Blower, just because, Field Blower is good. Gets rid of Choice Band so they can't do as much damage to us. You can pull up something with a fat retreat cost, like with Lysander, knock off the Float Stone if they have it already. Maybe they get stalled out a little bit. We're playing 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Level Ball. The Ultra Ball to potentially... to basically grab Lele to do one of your first turn supporter plays. Either Ultra Ball to Lele to Bridget to grab your 3 Noibats, or Ultra Ball to Lele to Wally to evolve into Noivern turn 1 and start attacking. And plus these cards are just generally good. Like Ultra Ball is just a generally good card. I don't think I would ever play a deck without 4 of these. And then Level Ball, since we have 8 Pokemon that it can grab, the 4 Noibats, and then all of our EVs and evolutions. But there's a 1 Rescue Stretcher just to grab stuff back just in case. If like Volcanion or Metagross knocks out or Flareon or Vaporeon, we just grab it back. 2 special charge, because without double dragons, it's pretty hard to get an attack off. Like I said, you could just use 2 dark energies and distort, but without double dragons, you can't really use Sonic Volume. Like, you literally can't, because there's no psychic energy in the deck. So later on in the game, 50, 80 damage a turn isn't going to do too much, especially if they've already got themselves pretty well set up. So we play 2 of these just to make sure we don't run out. Supporters, we already mentioned the Wally and the Bridget. We usually grab those turn 1 with Lele. Force Sycamore, I don't think this is going to be a bad card. Discard your hand, draw 7. Get a fresh hand. Play N. Put stuff back in the deck if you don't want to discard, but you need cards. Or maybe if your opponent's a little bit ahead on the prize trade, you put them down like 2, maybe 3 cards, and just they potentially just can draw out, especially if you know they're kind of item heavy, so you can like put them down to 2 or 3 cards and distort to where they can't really search. They just have to rely on one of their draw supporters. Lysander, just another generic good card. Get some key knockouts. Like, I know there's probably going to be a situation where I'll use Boom Burst to weaken up something on the bench, and then just Lysander it up to hit it with Sonic Volume, knock it out. And then there's a Hex Maniac, just a little bit more disruption. You know, I'm kind of thinking if we're locking down their items, we're possibly getting rid of their energy, and then we're taking away their abilities. That's a lot of stuff they can't do. A lot of stuff they can't use to get back into the game, or to just get ahead, or just to get set up. So, in theory, this deck works. I've played a couple games with it, and it seems not bad. But I'm going to go ahead and start recording these games. So I will see y'all in the video tomorrow. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay jolly.